Hi, my name is Rick Roberts, a senior instructor here at Splunk. We're going to go in and install Splunk today. And we're going to start off by going to www.splunk.com/download. And from here, we can download the appropriate installer. We're going to be installing on a Linux box today. Happens to be a 64-bit Linux box. So looks like we need a 2.6 plus kernel Linux distribution. And it looks like we've got TGZ files, RPM. We're just going to take the targz file and install it. But before we do that, we're going to go in and make sure we've got the minimum requirements as far as our kernel goes and as far as our hardware goes. So to do that, we're going to jump over to docs.splunk.com. And first of all, we're going to be installing 4.3 version of Splunk. And we'll look at the release notes. Typically, that's what I would do first. Here we can find what's new with this latest and greatest release. So we can also see if there's any known issues and that sort of thing to check out. So you might want to investigate that first. And then we're going to go back to our documentation and look at the installation manual. From here, we can go to System Requirements. And we can find what is officially supported as far as operating systems go. We can also find out what's officially supported as far as client browsers. Supported browsers are listed here as well as recommended hardware. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my terminal. And I'm going to be installing on Class 3, one of our training servers today. And you don't have to install Splunk as root, so I've already set up a user account. I'm just going to install it as Rick. And so I'm working in my home Rick directory. Now I've already cheated and I've downloaded the tarball. You'll see I'm using 4.3 x86 for 64-bit box. Just to double check, I'm going to make sure that I've got the correct hardware and the latest kernel here, 2.6, and it looks like it is a 64-bit box, so it looks like we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and untar and unzip. So gunzip -C to standard out my zip tar file. I'm going to pipe to and change directories to home Rick. And I might as well go ahead and untar it. Extract, verbose, keep permissions. It's from a file, not a tape. And it looks like we're unzipping the tarball there. And if we have a look, looks like we've got a directory now under my home directory called Splunk. I'm going to list what's in there. It looks like we've got bin folder, Etsy folder, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and start up Splunk simply by navigating to the bin folder and running the command Splunk start. Now, of course, there are legal disclaimers I need to look through, and of course I'm going to go ahead and agree to those. And it'll detect it's my first time running Splunk. Now, I happen to already have an application running. There are two ports we're worried about. Port 8000 by default, which is Splunk Web, and 8089. So it looks like something's already running on 8089, and it's prompting me would I like to change ports. I'm just going to go ahead and say yes, and I'll change it to 8002. And it looks like now it's starting up. You'll notice that we also ship with OpenSSL. We also go ahead and generate our own certificates, and it looks like the Splunk daemon is starting up. Okay, so it looks like Splunk is now running on Class 3 on port 8000. So I'm going to jump back over to my browser and just go to that URL. So I'm going to go to class3.splunk.com on port 8000. And logging in for the very first time through Splunk Web, you'll notice I'm being prompted to log in as admin. My password is change me. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And sign in. And I'm automatically being coached to go ahead and change my password, so I'll go ahead and do that so it's not changed me any longer. And we're sitting at what we call the home app. The home app is welcoming me to Splunk. It's prompting me to go ahead and add data, or I could go ahead and add or launch the search app. Or you'll notice I've also got tutorials I could go through. I could also see what's new in this release here. I can also have links to documentation and to Splunk answers. So if we go ahead and launch the search app, you'll notice we've already got Splunk installed. It's already up and running. Right now, there's no data coming into Splunk. So that would be our next step to add more data.